I started out going to college, majoring in psychology and minoring in English, and I wanted to grow up and become a psychologist and actually write for a publication in my field. And during that time period, I was blessed with a daughter, which kind of put the studies a little bit on the back burner, and I started working to support us. And continuing with my education, I ended up in a sales position with a local cellular company, and it was a few years before the BlackBerries really hit the scene. And during the time, I finished up my schooling and started getting involved in the BlackBerries and the smartphones and their capabilities, and it became very intriguing with the ability to help people take their professional life out of the office and give them more time back in their personal life. So when people would ask me what I did for a living, I would always, my response would always be, I help to put more quality time back into people's life. So during that time period, I grew my career with RIM and installing BlackBerry Enterprise servers, and became very intrigued by the security aspect around the data that we share over the internet. And it led me to a position with a startup company up in Cleveland, and it was based around cybersecurity initiatives. So at that point in time, I had to make a choice. Did I continue down the path that I thought I was supposed to move down, since I had invested time and money in my education, or did I stick with this new passion that I had found? And I decided at that point, I said, you know, I'm having a great time. It was a very entrepreneurial experience, because while I was a commission-based salesperson, I was blessed to have enough of a base salary that allowed me to participate in my young daughter's school activities while still being able to balance my work life. So working through that, I started to get a little bit more into what the compliance initiatives were, what enterprise businesses needed to look out for as they moved into we started to look at more cloud initiatives, and what does that mean from a securing the data perspective? How do we enable folks to do more out there on the road, out of the office? The industry started moving more towards a remote workforce, and it was just a perfect storm. So I was very blessed to connect with another tech-savvy woman who helped guide me into the role that I have now, which is at Fishnet Security. I've been very fortunate to surround myself with people that pull out my strengths and give me permission to really truly be who I want to be. And it's been a very interesting ride. So currently I'm working with enterprise businesses, and I'm helping them to secure the data that they have that is the crown jewels, and I love it. So I don't have a day go by that's like the day before it, and I truly feel that I'm able to make a difference professionally while still being active in my personal life. It really breaks down to making sure that you are surrounding yourself with networking groups and industry affiliations. And so I sit on the board of the local Cloud Security Alliance. We bring in speakers to talk about like mobility, and as you're moving across different country borders, what the different requirements are as you're moving data over into China. The other thing that I really enjoy is because I am involved in so many different enterprise initiatives with different clients. It helps me to understand what their challenges are, and then within the company I work for, we have several different specialties and folks that are really key leaders in their fields that do training for us, as well as coming in and hosting training for my clients. So I think it's just, it's really being passionate about what you're doing and being excited about the industry and the choices that you make, and then putting in the time to keep abreast of it. And in today's social media climate, I mean, LinkedIn is a great source of connecting with those groups that are relevant to what's important to you, both professionally and personally. And then just taking the time out of your schedule to attend those networking meetings, to attend for me, it's the Cloud Security Alliance and the different, Citrix users groups, things of that nature. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and I have always told her that, the first thing is you do what you love. I feel that we are very fortunate in this time that it's no longer, if you're looking at a career in the STEM field, that you are going to be, a programmer sitting behind a computer, and don't feel limited by what the technology angle is, and really just look at what you enjoy doing in your spare time and how you may be able to parlay that into a career. And at the same time, while you are out there and trying to figure out what you want to be when you grow up, make sure that you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and take advantage of all the resources that are out there. I think so often when we were younger, there weren't as many, groups and organizations and people out there that really wanted to help young women better themselves. And it's a great time. It's a very exciting time to be a young person moving into this new world. And the heart of the matter is that all of our young people now are just so technology focused. They grew up with it. So I think it's definitely an advantage to them. Don't be afraid to fail, and don't be afraid to say no. You can change what you want to do or what you want to be in life several times, and you will as you grow. And I think that's one of the greatest pieces of advice that I had received in my early 20s was, you don't necessarily have to have a plan and stick to it steadfast. It's allowed to change. JJ, that's a great question. And as I mentioned earlier, I ended up finding my existing position, which I absolutely love, through a friend of mine, and I would consider her a mentor. And I think that the best advice you can look for when you're trying to find someone, and how do you define mentor, is to surround yourself with people that enjoy the same things that you enjoy. Surround yourself with people that are positive, and just ask for advice, and realize that you yourself have something to offer. If you are an 18-year-old young girl just coming out of high school, or if you're a 60-year-old woman that has years of life experiences, all of us do have something to offer someone else, and it's really putting yourself at the right place and the right time, and perhaps even not being afraid to be a little bit uncomfortable. Your first or second or third networking event or users group or affiliation event, it's going to be a little scary, but at the end of the day, realizing that person that is the CIO of big box company is exactly the same as you are, and they've went through some of the same trials and tribulations that you have. And most people, I would say almost everyone, truly feels flattered when they are asked for advice. Utilize your social media connections, utilize the groups on LinkedIn, feel free to reach out, and a mentor doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you sit across the table from and have coffee with. It could be someone like you and I on a video chat. one of the things that I keep coming up as I'm speaking is the social media aspect. And I've always been a big advocate of fundraising and giving back to folks and really being there for people in need. And there's two causes that are near and dear to my heart. And several years ago, a good girlfriend of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I sat back and I felt very powerless in how to help her. And this was about 4 years ago, so social media was relatively new. And I started thinking, and I said, the one thing I can do is raise awareness and perhaps start raising some money. So we went out and I did a fundraiser, and it was exclusively via, it was an event, and we put it on, and it was through Facebook and LinkedIn that I raised awareness. And throughout just reaching out to the community, it was very heartwarming to discover how much support was out there. I can say that we had one solid day of a giant gala event, and we raised several thousands of dollars. From there, I started to think about it, and I said, well, hey, this was put together in 3 months, and we had local news support, and the community really bounded together. Let's look at what we can do on a larger basis. So I'm working with the Down Syndrome Association of the Valley here in Youngstown, Ohio, and we have raised our web presence and the social media angle, and we do an annual fundraiser every year, and we have managed in the last so this has been going on for several years, but in the last 3 or 4 years since we bumped it up into social media, we are in the several thousand, hundreds of thousands of dollars from a fundraising aspect. Thank you, JJ. I would say I would close with saying, encourage young ladies to be passionate about what they believe in. Don't be afraid to say no, and always trust that little voice that speaks to you, because often it knows more than anything from the outside world can tell you. Thank you, JJ. Take care.